Welcome to Eagleware Websites How-To Videos. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how to publish a newsletter to a website, what the best format might be for you, and give you some tips on the easiest way to make a good looking newsletter. You got several options. You can publish a newsletter as text to the website. The Eagleware Veterans website platform has the capability of publishing as a text, PDF, or blog mode. Text mode's pretty easy to do. It's copy and paste into a control to publish it to the web page, but you're limited to text only. You can't upload any graphics with it that way. If you need to put any graphics in your newsletter, PDF is probably the best overall option. Your format stays fixed. It'll display to the viewer as it was formatted in your word processor when you wrote it. You can include images in the document, such as photos or graphic files or whatever. You can easily save the PDF or print it directly from the website. The blog mode is good for archiving. You can have months in your blog, have past issues available for viewing. It takes just a tad more work to get it in there. It's not really hard to do unless you have a newsletter that contains graphics. Then sometimes you have to do a little formatting and stuff. But you can take a newsletter with graphics and put it into the blog and then just save it without the graphics, and that doesn't take much work at all. The blog's a good addition to either one of the text or the PDF. You can show text or PDF in the website for your newsletter and also have a blog that you can put your newsletters in. The blogs are normally free. Google Blogs, Blogspot is a free service. I've been using one of them for years for one of my Legion websites. So anyway, how do we make a PDF? Some programs like WordPerfect have the ability to print PDFs built into them. Microsoft Word does not. At least the version I have doesn't. It's a very simple process to add PDF printing by downloading and installing a free program from Nitro PDF called Primo PDF. There's a how-to video called How to Print PDF Files on the website that you can download and watch, and it shows you how to go to the PDF's download sites, download the file, and install it. It's a very short program because it's very easy to do. It only takes a couple of minutes. Once you install the Primo PDF, it installs a print driver on your system, and then any file or any program that you can print from, such as Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel or Internet Explorer or virtually any program. When you go to print, instead of printing it to a printer, you select Primo PDF and print to Primo PDF. It'll pull up a file or another control, and normally you can just leave the default set. The only thing you need to do is either print to print, which if you have graphics, your graphic photos will be resized to 200 dots per inch so that they'll print really nice on a printer. If you print to the screen, it'll resize your photos to 96 dots per inch, which is perfectly fine for viewing on the computer. But if you want to print it, it probably won't print quite as well as if you save it at print. Now these files will be bigger than these files. You can test it out. Normally I just print to the screen. Text prints perfectly well that way. If you happen to have any graphic files, they may or may not print acceptably that way. So you can just test it out both ways and see which one's is acceptable for you to use. Naturally, the screen size is going to be a smaller file, which means it takes less time to download or view the file. But anyway, you select either one of these. Normally you don't have to set any of these options. Whatever's here is perfectly fine from the default. Just click Create PDF, select where you want to save the file and what you want to call it. In this case, We'll save it to a temp file here. After it's saved it to your disk, normally by default it'll pull up your internet browser and display the PDF file to you. I don't have much in this document. And that's how you make a PDF file with Primo PDF. It's pretty simple. Next, let's talk about creating a template for your newsletters. A template's pretty easy to make. It's like a document file, only it has a DOT extension on the end of it. It's saved if you use a Microsoft Word, it's saved in your Microsoft Word template directory. When you create a new document, you can tell it to use this template that you created for your newsletter, and it'll bring up your format already in there, and you just add the new news and format it and do whatever you want, and then save it as a document file like you normally would. We're going to show you how to do that. I can see that we're up to about 6 minutes on this video. Since YouTube only allows 10 minutes maximum, we're going to continue on part 2. So watch part 2 and we'll show you how to make a template for your Microsoft Word to make newsletter documents.